Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, which is just kind of a fun and silly title. Ant-Man has always been known in the films, with the two films that they have, and his other appearances in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He is the lighthearted character. He's the palate cleanser, essentially. Um, I really enjoyed the first Ant-Man movie. Second Ant-Man movie, yeah, it's fine. It's okay. Um, I didn't dislike it. It was fine. But when you pit it up against all the other films in the MCU, it ranks somewhere in the middle. It's okay. Quantumania. Who knows what this is going to be? We know that Kang the Conqueror is going to be in it. We know that Catherine Newton is going to be in it. Or rather, Catherine Newton as Cassie Lang, as a more grown-up version of Cassie Lang. All things being equal, personally, I would have liked to have seen the actor who played Cassie in Avengers Endgame continue on to play Cassie, to continue on and play his daughter. I understand why they're putting Catherine Newton in this role. It just, I don't know, for consistency's sake, I would have either liked to have seen her pop up in Endgame, or in this project, continue on using the actor that you already had. But whatever, that's small potatoes. I understand. That doesn't really matter. Kang the Conqueror, though. I'm not the biggest Jonathan Majors fan, but I think there's something really interesting and really special with Kang the Conqueror being the big bad of this film. Because if anyone is familiar with Kang the Conqueror is a time traveler. He is on a quest to kind of be grand emperor and ruler in every time period of history. So he goes through time. He kind of touts himself as the ultimate time traveler, and he has very selfish motivations. Very selfish motivations. We know that Kang the Conqueror is the distant descendant of Reed Richards, who is Mr. Fantastic, one of the founder of the Fantastic Four. I think that this very well. Okay, so there's so much stuff going on with the multiverse. We have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. We know about all the multiverse stuff popping up in the Spider-Man movie. WandaVision is going to be ushering in the beginning of the multiverse. They already dropped the word multiverse in Spider-Man Far From Home. So obviously we know the multiverse is coming. We also know that Fantastic Four is coming, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Being that Kang the Conqueror has Fantastic Four roots in the comics, and he's also playing the big bad of Ant-Man and the Wasp in Quantumania, which is just a really fun and silly title. I think that's wonderful. I think there's a very, very strong case to be made that Kang the Conqueror is in association with the multiverse itself. I understand that the multiverse is not an entity, it's more of a concept. But I think the multiverse combined with Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror, I think those are going to be our big bads, just as Thanos was the big bad for this entire 22 movie arc, right? And now moving forward, I think there's a very strong case to be made that Kang the Conqueror is going to be the next big bad, and that by the end of the next chapter, whatever the next phase is going to be, we know the first 23 films are called the Infinity Saga. So whatever the next Infinity Saga is going to be, I think Kang the Conqueror and the multiverse obviously will be at the heart of all of this. And the next Avengers Endgame, whatever that happens to be, will be kind of a culmination to close the multiverse. That is my theory. That is my prediction. I could be way off the mark. But I think all this is kind of fun. I think it's pretty cool. Jackson, are you familiar with Kang the Conqueror? Are you familiar with his time travel exploits? Also, being that Kang the Conqueror is so closely tied with the Young Avengers, America Chavez, who was very famously one of the Young Avengers, Kate Bishop, who is popping up in the Hawkeye series, Cassie Lang, who goes on to play Stature in the Young Avengers. There are all these Young Avengers that they are now bringing into the MCU, and one of their main big bads is Kang the Conqueror, and now they're bringing Kang the Conqueror in. I think the writing is on the wall here, you guys, that the Young Avengers is going to be a future film in the pipeline. Do you have a different take on this? Do you agree with me, Jackson? Are you maybe just not quite as familiar with these properties? Where do you stand?
It's all very new to me, actually. I don't really know any of these names or any of the characters. So again, it's sort of all speculation to me so far. Well, it's all speculation to both of us, but for me personally, I'm not as familiar with a lot of these names that they're introducing into it. I think Ant-Man's the property they normally turn to. That's the it's the sciencey one with the experiments and everything like that. And the name Quantumania, it's very sort of sciencey name.
You know what
So
the name
they're going to be
Quantumania makes me think of is, do you remember that song that came out maybe 15 years ago, Listomania? Listomania. Do you remember that?
don't
It
think
was a little
so.
bit of, it was like
No,
light techno, but not really.
I'll probably remember it while I'm asleep in bed tonight and sit bolt upright and go, I remember it. But for
I
now,
think it was by the band
it's
Phoenix, or like Phoenix TX. I think was their name. I'll have to look it up. I'll share it with you later. Anyway, as you were saying,
Yeah, well, I was pretty much done saying it. Really, it's. I think my speculation's a bit vaguer than yours because it's all quite new stuff to me. But I was just saying that Ant-Man's it seems to be the go-to for introducing new scientific concepts and experiments and things like that. So I guess it plays into that idea.
that's actually a great point. Yeah, Ant-Man has been that kind of like vehicle for, hey, here we need something to happen, so we'll just go into the quantum realm, whatever that is, and make it so, as they say in Star Trek. Is that a Star Trek thing? Make it so. Never been a huge Star Trek fan. Anyway, guys, what do you think of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania? Do you think I'm on the right track here, especially with the Young Avengers? Because I've been talking about Young Avengers for quite a while. Jump on down to the comment section below and spill your brains. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, click like. If you really like this video, click subscribe. And if you really, really like this video, click share. Because that is exactly what Scrooge McDuck would want you to do. DuckTales, woo!